Now we have Streamline RaceDay with the Check-in app with Chris McDonald.
All right, we're gonna move pretty quickly through some of these because I have a lot of slides. Um, so that being said, this is Streamline RaceDay with the Check-in app, and I am Crisp again. So why should I change? Athletes expect everything instantaneously now, and they're waiting longer or later to register. And so, with that being said, there are going to need to be changes on your side to account for that. So then we're going to go into setting up RunSignup for the check-in app, and then set up and use of the check-in app itself, and the benefits. And if we have time, then questions. So why should I change? Well, I kind of made a fake timeline that people with their old timeline might have been, and that is registration opens and no point. There's no noticeable difference at that point. But then Wednesday of race week, they have to close registration, and nobody can register until packet pickup on Friday. So you have a 2 whole days or a day and a half of no one being able to register. Sometime during that, usually Wednesday night, maybe early Thursday, you export the registrants, pull them into your computer from your registration platform. At that point, you on your computer, you're assigning the bib numbers, maybe in Excel, like clicking and dragging. It's usually done by alpha, age group, category, or wave start. And then from there, you import them into your timing software. You print and apply bib labels. At this point, you're exhausted. And then you go in on Friday, you set up packet pickup. Any of the changes, new registrations are on paper forms. You have to have a runner back and forth to get all of that data. And then registration has to be closed for timing. So, and this is so you can pull all the data down. And so at some point you hit max stress. The event has started, the late registrations aren't entered, the changes haven't been completed, no results are being pushed up to the web yet. And then somewhere near step 11, you get all the data entered and you hit your moment of zen, and all is well. But there was a lot of stress to get to that point. So with the new timeline, with the check-in app and a couple of other tools, you leave registration open until you feel like closing it. You send a pre-event email with a QR code replacement tag. We talked about that the last time, 2 sessions ago. You turn on the check-in app, and then you dynamically assign bibs by QR code on the bib. You pull all data and changes directly into RaceDay scoring, and then you push results as soon as the first person hits a timing point. And that, to me, sounds way more manageable, way more scalable, and just an all-around better race day. So how do we set this up on RunSignup? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into RaceDay Tools, RaceDay CheckIn, and we're going to click on the mobile app. From there, we are going to set a password and your shared password, and you're going to enable your dates for the check-in app to work. Oh goodness, my stuff resized. That's kind of weird. Sorry about the sizing here, but then you can go in to your pre-event email and set up links and QR codes in your pre-event email, and you can drop in the registration QR code, which will drop in this QR code right here. And that is the QR code that you can scan with the check-in app, and it'll pull up the person's details. So the RunSignup side is pretty easy. And the check-in app setup is pretty easy as well, but I'm going to display a lot of the different options that you can turn on as you need them. So first things first, if you haven't ever done this, you're going to go into the App Store and you're going to download RaceDay Check-in. So just keep that in mind. And if you go in and you start at this point and you haven't set things up in RunSignup, you are not going to find your event. So once you've downloaded it, there's a few very simple steps. Step 1, you're going to enable the app. We just talked about that. Step 2, you're going to find your event. So you're just going to search for it. Step 3, you're going to update your settings at the top left. We'll go over that in a moment. And then step 4, you're going to check people in. So very, very simple. So setup and use for the check-in app. As soon as you open up the check-in app for the first time, you're going to want to click settings at the bottom. And from there, you're going to want to change the identifier. And you're going to make that something unique. The benefit there is, hopefully you were on the session 2 sessions ago when I talked about the awesome reporting this has. If you don't change it, it's going to be set to RD check-in. And in RunSignup for the reports, it's going to show up for my iPhone, it's going to show up as iOS RD check-in. If you're an Android, it's going to show up as Android RD check-in. So all of them are going to be clumped together. If you change the identifier, you can segment out volunteers and check-in by device. So you change that, and it brings you back to your participant screen. At that point, you're going to click the top 3 lines, and you're going to click settings. So once you get into settings, you're going to click right here, add preset. Once you get into preset, you're going to change your preset name. I personally do not suggest you editing the default preset. You will at some point or another forget that you've edited the default. It's a lot easier to create a new one. So I usually require the waiver, auto show camera on bib assignment. If I'm using QR codes or barcodes on the bibs to scan, and then you set all the settings you want to, and when you're done, you click save in the top right. So there's a lot of settings underneath this. And again, we said require the waiver, auto show camera on bib assignment. You can't take off the name and event check-in status, but you can turn on and off bib number. So sometimes instead of bib number, you have group bib number. If you're doing like a triathlon relay, you don't have to show any of these items, but normally you want to show giveaway, possibly corral. You can do add-ons within there. Then also you can allow for edits. Now, the one thing I do want to say is on the edits, giveaway edits, if you do turn that on, it does not sync against or does not validate against the inventories if you have that set up. So if you do have inventories, I would suggest not allowing giveaway edits here. You can do it at RunSignup and it will let you know, but otherwise it will not validate against, it will oversell your inventories. The count will still be correct, but it does not validate. So you have preserved bib on event transfer. That means that they have a personalized bib. And they go from the 5K to the 10K. You can leave that bib on and transfer their bib number with them to the new event. You can prevent duplicate bibs and validate bibs as you see fit. So lots of different settings there. So once you get everything set up, you're going to then go and use the drop downs and change your preset for the events you want. You're also directly below here, you have the ability to turn on and off the visibility of events. So I've worked with events that have, say, a 5K or a marathon on Saturday and a half marathon on Sunday. And they didn't want the half marathoners to check in until after the marathon. And so for day 1, they would have unclicked the half marathon and only shown the marathon. And on day 2, they would have done the exact opposite. So you can update that. So once you get all of that done, you can hit upload configuration and you change the configuration name to something that you'll remember. You hit save and it says saved race configuration uploaded to the cloud. Okay. So now on any other devices, you only do this once. And normally I suggest for people to do this on Monday or Tuesday of event week. So you have plenty of time and you're not rushed. You can test things out. But once you've uploaded it, now any other device can go into settings and use my favorite config as that configuration. And it automatically, all that work you did setting up all your presets, it automatically pulls into the device. So all they have to do on the new device is set the device name and go in and download the configuration from the cloud. So super, super quick and easy to scale. So when you're using the check-in app, you can see there's X's and a green check. So somebody's been checked in. So if I wanted to check in Clark Kent, not sure if he's right here. Oh, there he is right there. Clark Kent, I would click on him, hit check in. He's in corral 1. I've got a little bit of other data on there. And so now I'm going to use this bib. You can see there's a QR code on there. As soon as I moved my pencil away, it scanned that with the camera and put in 1002. And then I hit assign. it confirms that Clark Kent is checked in, bib is assigned 1002. And when I'm back in here, I see Clark Kent is assigned bib 1002. This auto syncs with both RunSignup and RaceDay scoring. And so it will sync, it takes anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds, and all of that will be updated. So what are the benefits of using the check-in app? Goodness, all of these have resized, I apologize. So benefits are, it's quick and customizable setup. You only have a few steps. It's easily scalable across multiple devices. It's very, very simple to use. It has dynamic bib assignment features, and this allows for both manual and bar and QR code scanning. And there's great reporting features. So, and that is a quick view that you can do on the fly on your phone, and then also a detailed view at the RunSignup level. So some other benefits are requiring a waiver. So for many of you, maybe you had a sponsor that you needed to import for the race director. So when you import that person in, you do not have, you have all of their other information, but they did not sign the waiver online. So you have no documentation of them signing the waiver. So when you go in, you can actually, when you click on them and you have that you must sign the waiver, when you hit check-in, it brings up the waiver signature. And when it does that, it'll say they need to view the waiver. So you can go in and see the entirety of the waiver. And then with their finger, they can sign the waiver and hit agree. When they do this, what happens is they sign, it says Silver Surfers checked in, and the waiver sign is yes. So now on the back end of RunSignup, you can see that this is Silver Surfers registration. So again, in terms of streamlining your race day experience, the things that you don't have to worry about are paper registration forms or paper waivers. You have this signed, you have the name right there, you have signed at this date and time and this IP address. And you can view the waiver at any time that they signed. And again, checked in, yes. Some benefits of using the corral name. So the corral name is a text editable field. And so what you can do is, if you want to just have corral 1, 2, or 3, no big deal. But if you want to use corral 2 blue bib or corral 5 red swim cap, it can really help your volunteers at packet pickup streamline that process so they don't get confused as to which item they're supposed to be handing out to the athlete. So just something to consider to add that in. It's a text field that you can add into the corral names when you're setting those up, and you can have those pull in, and in my opinion, it's very convenient to for the volunteer not to have to think about what corral and what color bib they should be assigning. So quick reporting in the app. We're continuing on the benefits of the check-in app. So quick reporting on the app is, if you go into, you hit the settings in the top left, or you click the 3 bars in the top left and go down, you can hit check-in stats. There's a number of times, and I think we talked about this a couple sessions ago, where I've been at the finish line as the timer, and I've been asked either by the race director or by the police officer in charge how many people we have on site. And so I can pick this up and know immediately. In addition to that, if my staff are running packet pickup and I'm talking with the race director in terms of how many swimmers are going to go into the water for a triathlon, this again, I can give them a ballpark number of how many are going to go into the water. So this is a very, very quick, simple stat, but it gives you overall, and then it breaks it down by event. Now, after the fact, there is very, very detailed reporting that you can get into. And so it will give you, based over days of time, not just a general number, but as to who checked in when. And if you go back to that very, very first thing that I said, about how to change the name of the device. So you have a personalized name in the device. Now we can see all the names, and we can see the total number of people checked in over time. And as you hover over these, it will give you that information. The benefit here is after your event, you can go back and see and look for plateaus or look for maximums. And so once you find that maximum, you basically can guarantee that that is your staff being maxed out. And so if it's 5 per 5 minutes, if it's 15 per 5 minutes, that's what you need to know. Okay, well, we had 50 in that 5 minute, and you can start doing back math in regards to how many people that you need at packet pickup during those timelines. We've had events say, oh, well, I need to run packet pickup all day Wednesday and Thursday leading into the event. Well, and when asked just generally, hey, how many people do you normally have at packet pickup on Wednesday? I was told, oh, we have 50% about show up. And I said, okay, cool. Let's use the check-in app. Well, they used the check-in app. They had 12 people show up over 8 hours with 2 volunteers. So that was 16 volunteer hours used to check in 12 people. And so they were able to, after the fact, look at that and say, hey, you know what? We don't have 50%. We were wrong. We just had that feeling that we did. And they changed the way they're doing packet pickup because volunteers are looked at the event director level as a resource. And you don't want to waste those resources because they are giving up their time to be there. All right. That concludes streamlining the packet pickup process using the check-in app. Are there any questions that we need to go over?
Nothing really. A question did come up about, it was more related to just waivers in general, asking if you've seen events put COVID language into their default race waivers.
I mean, I'm sure some are. I personally have not been looking for that. I know for a fact that some are doing additional acknowledgements as custom questions. And granted, you can't force them to answer the custom question with the check-in app, but you can ensure that they have seen that, and there's a mandatory field during the registration process. If it was in the waiver language, then obviously they would be, you can mandate that they sign the waiver in order to get a bid. All right.
All right. Thanks so much, Chris. I went ahead again and put the links in for the other rooms and the agenda. Next up at 2 o'clock, we have Extend Race Day with RaceDay Photos with Sean Callahan. Feel free to stick around for that or move around to a different room. Thanks.